of this year, I got married to my girlfriend of 4 years, and I'm very happy and proud that we could take that next step in our relationship. The planning went really well, everything according to expectations. I have to say that most of the planning was done by my wife. My job was mainly to approve all of the things that she selected and to make the payments, of course. But we had planned to have a small ceremony here in Bangkok with a couple of friends and relatives. As she's from the north of Thailand, Chiang Mai, the plan was for her immediate family to fly down here to join the ceremony, and so we could all celebrate together in one day here in early January. The day came closer. I woke up in the morning, the day before the wedding, and I looked at my phone and saw a couple of missed calls from my wife. And then a text message saying, "Honey, please call me back. My father passed away this morning." It's hard to describe what I felt during that moment. It's like a mix of shock and disbelief. There must be some misunderstanding or something that is not quite right, because how can that be? How can such a coincidence really happen to us? So I called her back, and as you can imagine, my wife was devastated. Turns out her father, who was supposed to come to Bangkok on that very day, had a heart attack at 5 a.m. in the morning and died. So immediately I jumped in a taxi, went to see my wife and her brother, who were obviously devastated. And we consulted with the family, and everything was, so many things were going through my mind. Most of all, of course, what are we going to do now? Are we canceling the wedding? Do we postpone? Are we having it anyways? What's the right thing to do here? And what can I do to support my wife in this probably one of the most difficult periods of her life? So after discussing this back and forth, my wife, myself, her mother, and the other relatives decided, look, we are less than 24 hours to the wedding. Everything's prepared, everybody's invited. People are coming, the food is ready, the drinks are chilled. Let's just have it anyways. Let's just go through with it, make all the effort of preparation worthwhile, and deal with the other things later. And this is what we did. From that moment on, my mind was almost like on autopilot. All the little things that I worried about before didn't matter anymore. I only was focused on one thing, helping my wife get through that day as best as possible. And I have to say, she did an amazing job. We had all the different aspects of traditional Thai wedding ceremonies. My major contribution to the wedding was actually to give a speech. I'm a Toastmaster after all. So I had a 10-minute speech prepared in both Thai and English, in which I presented my ideas about marriage and what I thought about how happy I am to be marrying into that family. And everything went really well considering the circumstances. So we wrapped up the ceremony around 3 p.m. Her mother had come down from Chiang Mai on that day, even though she had just lost her husband a couple of hours earlier. When we finished the ceremony, my wife, her brother, her mother, and I, and a couple of relatives all piled into a minivan. We went to the airport, flew straight to Chiang Mai to start the funeral preparations for her father. Over the next 5 days, we all helped the family to welcome the hundreds of guests that would come to the house every day to pay their respects. On the 5th day, there's not the burial, but the fire, what do you call that? Cremation, right? And then the event was over. So as you can imagine, it was not really as we expected it to be, but it was memorable nonetheless. And now, being a couple of months after the event, I was trying to draw some conclusions, and I was also trying to see the silver linings out of that event. Because when you're in the moment, your mind gets filled with thoughts of, why does this have to happen to me? We planned everything so well. Why can I not have the perfect wedding? Having a couple of months now to think about it, I have to say that there definitely are silver linings and there are lessons to be learned from that event. First of all the small things that I was worried about during the wedding, like, did we do the decorations right? Do we have enough food? What if I forget the words during my speech? All these small things suddenly didn't matter anymore, at all. I couldn't care less about any of these things. Secondly, being able to support the family in such a difficult time during the funeral was really an opportunity for me to show that I can be part of that community. And it was an opportunity for them to welcome me with open arms and to see me as a fully accepted member of that community. I would have never had the opportunity to meet each and every, even the most distantly related relative of that family if it weren't for this situation. And lastly, and maybe most importantly, it really helped me to see my wife from a different perspective. I could see how she deals with difficulties and struggle, how she deals with stress and pressure, and how she can manage it and get through it, and how it can bring us as a couple closer together. And I think that is really something that I appreciate. I just learned from that joy and sadness can occur simultaneously. As much as we want to, we cannot control what happens. We have to take the things as they come. And in the end, I'm thankful for these lessons. Toastmaster.